I'm Becky with Habitat Housewares, and we are live on our Facebook feed for the demonstration that we have with Liz from the Spice and Tea Exchange. I'm going to back away from that speaker just a little bit. So what are you going to demonstrate for us today, Liz?
So we're going to do some cedar planked grilled salmon. So we're demonstrating some of your Cameron cedar planks here, which are perfect for doing on the outdoor grill. And then we have some of our blends. We do custom blends in our house. So today we're using the Northwest Salmon Rub. And you can see the finished product here. So we're going to take you all the way from preparing the plank to the finished product of salmon at the end.
Beautiful. Love it. Let's get started.
All right, sounds great.
Okay.
Passing up the mic.
The passing up the mic. And you have some gifts for folks today too,
I
right?
sure do.
My speaker.
So for the first 15 people that have arrived today, and I see some out here already, in this bag here we have some of our custom blended spices and infused salts, both of which can be used either to make the salmon or to be used as a finishing salt on the salmon. Can we hear okay? On the mic? Okay, excellent. So thank you very much, Becky, for having me from the Spice and Tea Exchange to do the demonstration today, and congratulations on your grand opening.
Thank you so much.
We're so happy to have you over here.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you, thank you. And then, so a little bit about the spice that we're going to be using today. The Northwest Salmon Rub features some of our house-made orange zest. We make all of our own citrus zest in the house. So it gives you that extra freshness. We'll be adding on to that today with a little bit of lemon. And then it also has dill, coriander, black pepper, and just a little bit of salt, which is why we can use a finishing salt. So the nice reason that we're using the plank rather than just throwing the salmon on the grill directly is because this acts as a smoking conduit. So you can use this to gently smoke and infuse your food without adding the texture that smoked salmon, say jerky, would do. Gives you that same flaky, nice baked texture that you can see here without having to have that sort of like, well, let's throw it in the freezer and now have this jerky layer, kind of a deal. So in order to prepare your plank, what you do is you put it in a nice like casserole-sized pan. And because, of course, that wood does float, you will need to go ahead and weight it down with something heavy like a jar or a bowl. You'll want to do this for about 1 to 4 hours, at least 1 hour soaking in the water to keep it from doing any charring or actual burning on the grill when you go to use it outside. And we do have a recipe up here that everybody's welcome to take, so you can go ahead and replicate that back at home. Up to 4 hours. Past 4 hours, it doesn't really matter anymore. You've thoroughly soaked that wood, but if you want to do it in the morning before you leave for work and then come back and pick it up, that works great. So then what you're going to want to do is when you're all done, you've come home from work, this is nice and soaked, you're going to want to preheat your outdoor grill. And it doesn't matter if you use a charcoal or a gas grill, either one works just as well. The thing that you want to keep in mind is to have your plank about 8 inches away from the heat. That way it's smoking and kind of charring like you see here, rather than burning the plank. It will put out a fair amount of smoke, but it shouldn't ever look like it's actually burning up. If you ever get a little bit of a hot spot, you can keep a little water bottle handy just in case, just to kind of squirt it down.
Question for you. I haven't
Yes.
used these myself, I admit.
Okay.
So do we put them on the grill without the fish first to kind of like temper it, or do we put the
Yes.
fish on there? Okay.
Absolutely.
Good enough.
Yep. So what you'll do is you'll preheat the grill. You'll want to put it on medium and let it preheat for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Those last 5 minutes, you'll want to go ahead and put the plank on the grill to go ahead and warm up while you're prepping your fish. And the fish only takes a few minutes to prep, so that's about the right time period actually. So there's some good benefits to actually using a plank like this, and there's some differences in flavor. So like for instance, using the cedar plank versus say maybe something like maple or cherry, is the cedar's a nice kind of like medium tone as far as the flavor goes. It'll give you a nice smokiness that doesn't compete with a lot of other flavors. If you do something like maple, it gives a lot of sweetness to fish. So maybe if you're going to do like a maple glazed bourbon, to your salmon, that would be a good choice. But it can make it overly sweet. So this is good mid-range tones that you've got here at the store.
That makes sense because that cedar one is one of the top sellers. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about using a plank like this instead of just doing like smoked chips and throwing it on your grill is that you can reuse these multiple times. So even though it looks like this once you're done, you can go ahead and wash it and scrub it down with nothing but water, and then you can reuse it several times until it's to the point where it just, kind of looks like firewood. So another kind of interesting thing about these planks is that it was originally first done by North American Indians. So that's kind of how we got the idea for it all. So they started doing this with their salmon, particularly in Washington and Oregon area.
Nice.
Yeah, so we kind of just,
Interesting stuff.
yep, we just kind of caught on from them. They were, you know, doing it directly over the fire, and it gave a beautiful end result like this. So another benefit too for this versus say like foil packets, this helps keep your fish more moist. It's not only smoking your food, it's also releasing a little bit of steam into your fish, where your foil packet might, you know, be steaming your fish, but it's otherwise not helping you in any way, and can also leave you prone to sticking. So for as far as like prepping it, now that you've got your soaked plank, which you could also season if you wanted to with a little bit of wine or lemon juice, you could actually add that to the water.
Oh, okay.
It would permanently season it, but you could do that. Like if you wanted to add a little Chardonnay in there and have a little, like, you know, white wine soaked fish. Yeah,
I love
lemon juice. You're gonna go ahead and then prep your fish. This is now out on the grill. It's preheating itself. And we're gonna take our fish, and you're gonna wanna give it a good rinse down and a wipe down with paper towels to make sure that it's good and patted dry. So we're gonna grab these ahead of time. Can I wash directly in here? It's already been pre-rinsed, so I don't have to.
Probably shouldn't then.
Okay,
Dishwashing station.
I did it just in case.
Okay.
Okay. So we have already pre-rinsed and pre-patted this, but we're gonna do it again. And as you can see, this has not had to have been descaled or deskinned. You can go ahead and throw it directly on there. And so now at this point, what we can do is go ahead and use our olive oil. And we're gonna drizzle about a teaspoon of olive oil. And just work that directly into the salmon. And you're gonna do it on both sides. This way it keeps it from sticking directly to the plank. And this is also your opportunity to look for those last minute like big pin bones, just in case they didn't catch them at the processor or the butcher, depending on where you've gotten it from. Like I found one right in the end here. If you don't have a good pair of fish pliers, I bet you have some here.
We do have
Because
some
my
good
fingernails,
fish tweezers.
frankly, just do not do justice for this sort of thing. But you want to kind of pull backwards. You can kind of see where it's already been done here. You can pull backwards along the spine, and they'll come out easier that way. So I got those two little Heidi guys there. You've worked your olive oil in, and then you're going to use about a half a tablespoon of the Northwest Salmon Rub. Which for me, because I have small hands, is about the palm of my hand. You can see those black peppercorns
Smells amazing.
in the dill, and feel free to come up and smell the jar. That's one of the benefits of our store. Everything that we make goes into these jars that you get to open up and smell, so you can experience and see whether it's something that appeals to you or not. So now that you've got it like this, you take a lemon and you reserve 1/2 to go ahead and squeeze when you're ready to serve. And then we're going to just slice and cut the other half. And then all you have to do with these is place on top, like I've done with this one here. And these will go ahead and soak down into the fish while it's smoking. And then what you'll do is place it skin side down on your plank. You won't have to move it, you won't have to rotate it, and you'll go and take it out and place it down on this that's been preheated out on the grill. Now, depending on the thickness of your fillet, this will cook from anywhere from between 13 to 20 minutes, but all in all, even with prep time, you're looking at a 25-minute dish. I mean, anybody can do that on a weeknight, and frankly, for all the salmon that I know that we have in the freezer.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And you don't have to wash it constantly either, right?
Nope. You're just
Put it
gonna
out there, let it do its thing.
close. You're gonna close the lid and walk away. In fact, the less that you peek at it, the better, because the less smoke and the less moisture will escape from the salmon. So once you hit that 13-minute mark, you're gonna go with a fork and test. At the very edges, you can see where the fat has started to kind of curdle up and start to escape the fish. You want to look for that. And then you just, at that point, want to see where it starts to flake away easily. Once it begins to turn and flake, you know that it's done. So then at that point, you're gonna go ahead and take it back into the house. You can put it down on a nice like trivet or hot pad. You can serve it directly off of here. The skin should peel away easily since you went ahead and used olive oil. And then you're gonna be testing out your sea salt. So this blend has very little salt, and out here we have several different varieties of some of the finishing salts that we use. We carry anywhere from about 35 to 45 different salts at a time in our store. Everything from like lime frost salt if you wanted to add an additional amount of citrus, to something like chili lime if you wanted something spicy. For this, I like adding an additional amount of smoked flavor because it's fairly light. So I use like a Chardonnay oak sea salt. Yep, Chardonnay is nice and sweet. It's very mild. We also carry an alderwood, but that one's like more like a campfire. I mean, it's really assertive. So you can go ahead and just kind of choose what finishing salt works for you, and then just sprinkle directly on. So you wouldn't want to do the salt ahead of time. You might risk drying out your fish before you put it out on the grill. So you do it at the end when you're ready to serve.
And a lot of your salts, I know some people like me, I might think, oh, salt more just for savory things or more just for cooking preparation, but you have salts for things like rimming beverages, like drinks, cocktails. You have dessert salts and sugars, correct?
We sure do. Absolutely. So we have about 25 different
endless
sugars.
Amounts of fun stuff in her store.
Yep, like bourbon black walnut sugar, and then we have coconut sugar. But as far as like the salts go, we have ones for like Bloody Marys and margaritas, and then we have recipe cards that are complimentary, so it'll teach you how to use them in what respects to use them, whether it's for fish or drinks or, finishing. We have one specifically for using in grinders, like Himalayan. Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys are located out on O'Malley?
Yep, and we have our rack cards here so you can see where we're at. We're right next door to Fire Tap on the corner of O'Malley and Old Seward. Like I said, it's set up like an old world store inside. You get to smell all of the different spices. You can bring in your jars and have your jars filled. That way you can only have to buy exactly what you need. Another nice kind of thing about this in particular, with your salmon, it makes great leftover smoked salmon dip. So if you really like smoked salmon spread, this is a perfectly easy way to do it. You can do it in large batches, and you don't have to like worry about like shredding it forever to get the texture that you want before adding it to the cream cheese. This is really easy to do with your leftovers.
Very nice.
And it's already
great
seasoned.
idea. Does anyone have any questions for Liz?
Oh, and then let me show you the after flank. So after you've done your salmon and it looks all sad on your flank, all you have to do is give it a quick wipe down with paper towels. I'm gonna scrape it in here to get the particles off, and then a rinse. If there's anything that's left over that just simply will not come off, or on this rough edge, it starts to shred it all you have to do is take a little bit of sandpaper and then just kind of go over the edges. Yep, exactly, it's ready to go again. Just remember to always cook on the smooth side and then leave this side for the grill.
Perfect. So now, are there any questions for Liz?
If not, I'll give you a fun tidbit.
Okay, do it.
Okay, so just know that your cedar planks or alder or cherry or whatever flavor you happen to use are not all created equally. There are different ones for using indoors and outdoors. Part of the reason that we did a before and after here is I didn't want to set off your smoke alarms, and I didn't think it was quite the tagline you wanted maybe for your grand opening. Stupid woman sets off smoke detector in Diamond Center.
Factory at Diamond Center, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would be fire station has to come rescue. But there are ones that you can use in the oven, but they're much, much thicker because then the heat's slower, and so they require more soaking, but then they can be applicably used in the oven. Also,
Alaskan's grill year round, right? Like we do.
Yeah,
You
like
just go right out the back door,
like we
shovel
have to
your
deal
way
with the
grill.
snow anyway, so we
Yeah.
might as well go grill out there. And we want to eat our salmon all the time, so. And then also, I had a neighbor who was just like, I'm just going to reuse my old fence pickets. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, please don't do that. Your fence pickets and leftover lumber have been treated with chemicals to be bug resistant. So if you go and you put that on your grill and then you put your food on it, there's all kinds of toxins that are just seeping right into your fish that are just being
Toxic and probably even more flammable too.
That is a flavor that I don't want to contemplate. But
bug spray.
yeah, right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, if no one has any questions, then I think Liz has gifts for everyone, and
I
we'll
certainly
conclude
do.
our live video. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much for coming.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
having me, Becky.
Absolutely, anytime, and I mean that. We've got this new demo kitchen. We need somebody in it.
I love it. I'll just need a step stool.
We made these bar height so that we could put bar stools around. So that